Isn't that lovely?
It's beautiful.
Oh, man.
I'm so glad you like it, mate. So I'm heading over to pick up a Kawasaki Z650 1977 model. So I'm pretty excited about doing this because the customer is just an absolute gentleman, and I love nothing more than building bikes for really, really good people. So this gentleman unfortunately is suffering cancer at the moment and going through treatment, and he has asked me to restore this Z650 because he's going to leave it to his son, and we're going to do an unveiling at the end of the build for his son, because he's going to give it to him time-wise on his birthday in September. I'm extremely excited about doing this for this beautiful human being, and I'm also excited about the fact that I get to be the person that gets to do this. I feel really honoured. Once we get this bike back to the workshop, I'm going to strip it down, work out what we need to do, what parts it needs to be replaced. I know that brakes need to be done, etc. And we're going to replace basically rims and spokes, and we're going to take this thing back to as original as we possibly can. It's not going to be, you know, absolute show quality to the point where it never gets ridden. He wants this bike to be ridden, but it's going to be 98%. So I'm pretty excited to do this and take you guys along for the ride. Let's get this thing back home, strip down, work out what we need to do, and get started on the restoration process. All right, guys, let's do it. Here she is. So tank and fairings and stuff, side covers are all at the painter apparently, so we won't be doing any of that unless something changes. So we're going to try and get this now up that hill and into that car. All right, bike's in the back, all the parts are in the back, and I'm wrecked. So it's go time. Let's get home and rip this thing down and start ordering parts, and all the fun stuff starts to happen. I'll see you at home. Let's get stuck into this bad boy right here. Let's pull it apart. Let's get everything, oh, sorry guys. Let's get everything styled in and get it all ready, packed up in the boxes. Everything's got to go to chrome. Everything's got to go to powder coat. I got a ton of parts coming, like half a bike of new parts, which is a bit exciting. So yeah, let's get this thing torn down. Teared down, torn down, that one. And start the build process. Let's go. Rightio, I've got all the wiring labelled now. I don't necessarily need to do this because number one, I've done a million of these, so I know how they go back together. I know the colours of everything. And number two, I have a wiring diagram, but it's just going to save all the drama in case, you know, I get sidetracked and I forget one thing. It's always the one thing that you didn't label is the one thing that you forget. So covered all bases. Rear fender's off now, so I'm just going to pull that apart. But now it's all labelled, it's time to get back into it. right, making good some progress. I've got all my electrics in here now. Everything's labelled, as you can see, the blue bits of tape. So that's all my electrics. These are going to go to powder coat with the frame. This is all my chrome parts that have got to go to chrome. And then this is all my parts that are either being replaced or going to restore. Majority will be replaced. So back into the final stage of getting this thing dismantled. Rightio guys, it's time to head off. We're going to go to drop everything to the chrome plater and then we'll come back and carry on with the build. Let's go. As you know, the bike is fully apart, engine's behind me. So I got a box of new parts here ready to go on, which is pretty exciting. Everything has been dropped off at the chrome plater now. The powder coater's got his stuff doing his thing. So I'm now going to get stuck into this engine and we're going to turn this ugly old bloody alloy looking engine that's all sort of tarnished into something sexy. So I'm going to polish those tappet covers, polish the side covers, paint the engine and make this thing look schmick, put new stainless steel bolts in it and all that cool shit. So let's get back into this engine and get it sorted. So once we get this frame back, we can start assembling things and all the cool stuff happens. But yeah, let's get stuck into this, eh? So I think I'm going to do one at a time so I can do this one, put it back on. Usually I just rip them all off. But I think in this circumstance, because I'm waiting on the gaskets, I think I'm going to do one at a time. Let's jump off this thing for a minute and let's get this thing polished up. Also, if you've seen this truck sitting in the background while I'm filming, I'll give you a bit of a rundown on what's going on with this thing. So this is my 1964 Datsun 320 Ute. So my grandfather had one of these. I'm going to do a video on this and I learnt to drive in it from the age of 5 out on a property sort of thing. And then when I was about 17, 18, something like that, my pop got cancer and I ended up taking the car and started to restore it. And then for whatever reason we won't get into, I ended up having to get rid of that truck, which wasn't really my choice. So I've spent 18 years trying to find another one and I finally found one. Hey, shush, my dog in the background. I finally found another one. And this thing was reasonably rust free. So what I'm doing to this thing, I've cut out basically all the rust in the pillars. I've remade the back windscreen section. So that whole back end I've made from scratch. Same on the inside. If I turn this around, all these panels, everything you see here, I've remade everything. All these inner panels. So it turned out to be a little bit more work than I was hoping for. I've got basically just a single coat or a couple of coats of paint on the interior now. I'm taking out those quarter glasses. I'm putting in a single one-piece window, power windows, electric power steering. But the cool part is, this is going to be my shop truck. So because it's a shop truck and clearly I build motorcycles, I'm putting either a CBR 1100 motor in it or a Hayabusa engine. So Hayabusa is around 250 horsepower straight up. This thing only weighs 900 kilos, so it's going to be a quick little weapon. No rubbers are going back in it, so everything's going to be flush mount glass, front and rear. As I said, single glass in the doors instead of having quarter windows and all that sort of stuff. So I'm almost ready to get this thing assembled back together after I paint under the fenders and just finish off a couple of other little things, and then I can start on my body full of work and getting this thing dialed in and straight and door gaps perfect and all that sort of shit. But that's what that is. So you will see a video on that later on. I'm not sure when, but it's going to happen. So I sort of just do this in between jobs on weekends, really, when I've got free time. But that's what that is. If you've seen it in the background, you're wondering what it is, that's what it is. All right. So anyway, back to the job. We're going to get back into this. That's that side cover. Let's get this thing polished up. This side cover has some scratches in it, so I've got to get those scratches out first before I polish it. Excuse the mess in the background, but this truck, as I said, is not usually in the shed, so it's taken up all my friggin' room, but I'm going to try and get this thing painted so I can put it back outside and it can sit outside, and then I get my shed back. So sorry about the mess. I don't like mess. It stresses me out, but sometimes shit happens. So all right, so we're going to get this out. So I use these discs. So you've got medium, smooth finish. Basically, it's just like Scotch-Brite pads. And I'm going to use that to clean all that up, and that should hopefully get rid of those scratches. And then once I get rid of them, then I can move on to the polishing. All right, so I got a fair few things I got to do. I got to do the engine side covers. I got to do the brake plates, rehab, and a ton of other bits and pieces. As I said, the tappet cover and other side covers and so on. So it is time to get stuck into it, and hopefully these things will come up schmick. All right, let's go. There's a couple of scratches on here. If I get it on the right light. Those ones down there. There you go. So they're a little bit deeper. I can get my fingernail in there. So I'll stay on them for a fair bit with this one, but if that doesn't get it, I might have to get a flat disc on there and try and get those scratches out, but I try not to because I don't want to obviously thin out the alloy there and create a weak spot. So we'll just see how we go with this one, and we'll cross our fingers. Good news, once I move on to the smooth disc, I'll get rid of all these little scratches, and then the polishing will finally cut out the very last of them. Scratches are out, so now we'll move on to smooth discs. So I managed to get all those big scratches out and all the pitting, which was awesome. How good are these glasses in it? Earmuffs, you just look so cool. So these actually came out with a machine finish, or like a brushed finish. So I'm tempted, I might actually, piss that shit off. I might actually brush this with some 800 grit and try and get that finish back into it. It can be difficult because ideally you want to, I've done it in the past, but you want like a sander so you can belt sand it basically to get those scratches in it that you want. I mean, this looks pretty schmick by itself, but let's see what some 800 does. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, which there's a good chance it may not, sometimes it doesn't look good, and if it doesn't, well, I'll just carry on and I'll polish it like I was going to. But out of curiosity, I'm going to have a crack. Also, with these discs, the direction that they spin, if you have it like so, then it's going to run scratches one way. If you have it flat, then it's going to run scratches a different way. So The direction of the scratches all depends on the direction the wheel's going and the angle of the grinder. Oh, that's looking pretty good. I may end up leaving this and just clear coating it, I think. So what I'm going to try and do is, Kawasaki obviously runs this way. I want to run my scratches in that same direction, so when you're looking down the bike, everything's running from front to back. So if I go up and down, those scratches will catch my eye and it's going to throw everything off in my head. So everything needs to be in that direction. This is 800 grit and it's probably a little bit too fine for what I'm trying to do here, but that's all good. I may end up stepping up to some red Scotch-Brite, which is equivalent to, I think, 400 grit. So it's looking good though, because at the end of the day, this bike needs to be as original as possible, and originally they weren't chromed or highly polished. They were like a brushed finish. And then I'm going to hand paint all this background black, I think, but I'll double check how they came out in the workshop manual, and it may be the Kawasaki that's black. I have to double check, I can't remember. But and this can be, as you can see here, like it's a timely process, but when you're trying to make these things look as original as possible, then it's important to put the time into them. I'm struggling to get these tiny little fine scratches out, the ones that are going this way. I was obviously standing this direction, but there's still some going that way from that disc. So I might get the orbital sander onto it and sand it in that direction, even though I know orbitals and circles, I get that. But it's probably gonna get these scratches out, so I might even go as fine as 800 or 1000 grit. Let's see what happens. That's actually looking heaps better. So I think I'm gonna leave that one for a minute. I'm gonna go on some others and I'll make my call later if I'm gonna polish it or not. We'll see what happens. I may put it back on the engine, I'll paint the rest of the engine, I'll put them on and see what they look like, and if I don't like them, I'll highly polish them. All right, let's get back into the other ones. Alright, so I've got to get these spokes off these hubs, because I've got new spokes, new rims coming, so I don't need to save any of the spokes, so we're going to cut them off. Let's go. Alright, so I'm taking these things back to the brushed aluminium look instead of having, as I said, the polish, because from factory they were brushed. So that one's done, that one's done. Getting inside that hub through the center to brush it is going to be difficult, so I'm going to have a go, and if I can't, I'll just polish the inside and then lightly brush it and it should come up sweet. So that's going to be the finished product. Back to it. So I'm heading up to grab all the parts from the powder coater. So that now means that when I get back, I can get the basically the frame started to be put back together with a swing arm on it and all that sort of jazz. And then from that point on, once I get the engine covers clear coated, now they're all polished, I can throw them back on and the engine back in. And then it's just a matter of obviously assembling, putting the wheels together and all that sort of jazz. So making some good progress. The customer had given me about, I think it was 3.5 months to get this job fully restored and back to original. And I think it's gonna be done. Well, it looks like time-wise, it's going to be finished within 5 weeks instead of 3.5 months. So happy about that, because I've obviously achieved the goal of getting it done in time, but also we get to get it back to him so he can show his son earlier than his birthday, which is exciting. So anyway guys, we'll go get all this powder coating and then we will start the assembly process of the parts that we can assemble with what we have. All right guys, we'll see you when we get back. All right, I've got all our bits, let's go home. So I am baking all the alloy parts for the engine just to make sure I get any oil out and I evaporate anything, and then I'm going to clear coat them once they cool down, and then they can go back onto the engine. All right guys, so now I've got the frame back, I'm just going to show you a couple of little things. So this here is where the coils bolt up. So you've got to take off the powder coat where the coils bolt on, otherwise you'll never get a good earth. A lot of people forget to do that, and then when it comes time to wiring it up, they're freaking out because the thing started before and now it doesn't start. So that's part of it. That's one of the issues with bad earths. And then all of these bolt holes here are where the frame bolts up. So anywhere, the frame, engine. So anywhere where the engine bolts in, just on the inside of the frame, I always take the powder coat off, because we want to make sure that we always have a good earth through the motor to the frame. So if my coils are earthed out and my motor's earthed out to the frame and so on, everything's connected, we're not going to have any issues. And then it's time to start putting what we can together on this frame. And then when I get the wheels back, they can go on as well. Right, so getting these engine covers back on now. So I've got to get this one back on, get all the bolts back. So I've just got mock-up bolts in there at the moment, and then we'll swap them out. So once I get everything back from Chrome, because he's got the bolts for the frame, I can get this engine put back in the frame and we can basically start assembly. So I've still got to polish these forks and get them blasted and cleaned up, along with some carburetor parts. But apart from that, that engine, once I get the bolts back, can go back in the frame as I just said. So we're making good progress. Let's get back to it. Okay, so we got all our bits back, all bar the rear fender from Chrome. So now I've got to go through and sort out all our bits. And it's time to start assembling and getting the engine back into the frame, which is hiding under that cover. Treat it like a baby. So all this stuff from Chrome, this is the least fun part about chrome plating, is everything comes twisted together with wires. So when he plates them, they all get dipped in the bath like this. So I'm gonna go through now and untangle all of these parts. I think we'll time lapse this bit. You don't want to see this, it's boring as batshit. Right, so I've got a quarter of them done. So he's put tape on the end of all the threads so they don't build up and get too thick and then they won't screw back in, which is fantastic. But they get watermarks on them, like rust. So you have to go through on a wire wheel, clean the ends of all of them, and then put some Never-Seez on there so they don't re-rust and bind up in the threads when you screw them in. So just a little handy tip there for everyone. But I got to get back into it because I got about 1,000 other things I got to unwind and untape. So let's get back into it. We're done. All right, I got that engine in without scratching the frame. Thank Christ for that. So you probably saw that I put the engine on its side and then put the frame on. That's the easiest way to do it when you're by yourself. Otherwise, you know, even if you had two people and the frame's standing upright and you're trying to lift the engine in from the side, 99.9% of the time, you end up scratching something. So that's just the easiest way to do it that I've found. I learned that from a friend of mine that's been building bikes his entire life. He's a genius. So I'm sure all you bike builders out there or anyone that's done it before has already knew this, but this is for all the people that have never pulled an engine out and put one back in. All right, guys, here she is. So indicators have got to be bolted on. They're just sitting there at the moment. I put the front fender on last so it doesn't get scratched while I'm mucking around with the brakes and stuff. So we've got all our engine back in now. Back wheel on. Got to hook up these back brakes. Got the rear fender on now. It looks good. And yeah, pretty much. Got to put a cover on the front here and a headlight on. I'm waiting on a new headlight lens and stuff like that. So making some awesome progress and I'm pretty stoked. Customer Michael's been out and he loves it. He's over the moon, which makes me very, very happy. So it is now time to do the final assembly. So I will get back at you guys once this thing is pretty much ready to have the tank and stuff put on. Alright guys, final leg. I am nearly done. So I've got to put the fuel tap in the tank and I've got to mount the seat and then pop the tank back on. And I'm just doing the last piece of the puzzle. So the caliper's been rebuilt. It's got all new rubbers and stuff in it. I've just sandblasted it and I'm about to paint that. So once I get that painted, I'm actually dropping this bike off to my mate Brad at B&C Motorcycles. He's going to put the oil in it, start this thing up, make sure it's all tuned in correctly and tuned up so we can get it back to the customer in a couple of days' time. So pretty excited. I've told Michael it'd be great if he didn't look at it again so I can show him a bit of a reveal like we talked about. I know I mentioned that we're gonna be at the reveal party on the 29th of this month. But the bike's actually going back earlier than the 29th. So we'll see what happens in regards to getting to the reveal party, but we still get to do a reveal to the customer, Michael. So excited about that. So I'm gonna get back into this brake caliper, get it all painted up, and then we're gonna get that seat on and the tank on and do the final assembly, and you get to see this thing all together after all this hard work. And I'm pretty excited, guys. So let's get back to the last of it. Time to put the tank on, guys. Let's do it. I'm excited. Tank's on. In place, nice and secure. Seats on, seat pins. Lock that down. Shut that cap. All back together. So it looks absolutely gorgeous. So I'm pretty excited. Now we're gonna get this brake put on the front, but we'll get mechanic's gonna fit that up when he bleeds the brakes and puts oil in it and starts it and does the final checks. So we are done. So I will see you soon once we pick the bike back up from the mechanic, and then we're going to drop it back to the customer, and I hope, absolutely hope that he loves it. So I'm pretty excited, guys. He's running. Sounds like a Kawasaki. Pretty stoked. Yeah, so we're going to get this thing out on the road and we're going to give it a quick test ride. I've hidden it.
Oh, you've moved it. Oh, you've moved it. Oh,
it's hiding.
hidden.
It's hiding. You ready for this? You ready? So you stay right there. Don't look. I'm excited.
I'm looking.
Might even start it up for you.
Okay.
No, whatever you think.
All right. You like it?
Look at that.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah,
I'm so glad you like it, mate. Thanks. No, you're welcome.
that's beautiful.
Hey?
Yeah.
Isn't it gorgeous?
That is. Ah, look. I've even got blued exhaust.
Yes.
Ah.
And she
so,
goes...
so you kicked it.
Oh,
which is
it
good.
goes incredible. It goes absolutely phenomenal. I'm so glad you like it. I'm obsessed with it.
Can I ride?
Well, I reckon you could ride it without obviously kickstarting it.
Right. Let's look at it.
Yes, take it all in.
Oh.
Isn't that gorgeous? So I just had to put this little extension in here.
Yeah, look, this is weird.
So this would come up,
Uh-huh.
but we've got to put the spring on it.
Cool.
Yep.
That's cool.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Isn't that lovely?
It's beautiful.
Oh, man.
I'm so glad you like it, mate.
Smile.
No, you're good. Just do your thing.
I just want to do one like that.
That's it, guys. We're all done. What an amazing experience. What an absolute gentleman. And I'm just so honored to have had that opportunity to build that bike for Michael. Such a great person. And again, this is why I do this. There's nothing better for me than seeing people happy and seeing that bike live a new life. It's the best thing in the world. So thank you again, Michael, for the opportunity. Thank you to everyone for watching this video. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you again. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and to everyone that already has liked and subscribed, thank you. You're legends. The more subscribers we have, the better these videos can get, and we're trying to put in more effort every single time. And leave a comment if there's specific things that you want to see in the next video, you know, more detail or whatever. Let us know, guys. But thanks again for watching. Till next time, all the best.